SKC Center of Frederick County has been serving individuals with disabilities since 1979.
SKC's mission is to foster person-centered employment opportunities and community involvement for persons with developmental disabilities in Frederick County.
For over a decade, the SKC Center has been providing individuals with paid employment opportunities such as computer disassembly, greenhouse work, rain barrel production, custodial work, and more. But the majority of the job duties were all contained in the SKC Center. Recently, the SKC Center switched gears and decided branching employment out on the field is the best solution. The inspiration came from Employment First.
It's a nationwide initiative called Employment First, and the main driving component of it is taking what was considered the last segregated environment, which is a group of people with developmental disabilities all in one setting, and taking those efforts and all those individuals and all their talents and qualities and abilities and skills and interests, and having that in the community of the greater community instead of just in one location.
The SKC Center began working with the Maryland Developmental Disabilities Administration to implement the new employment strategies. Once a plan was in place, the SKC Center knew it was time to reach out.
So we started with strategic planning a number of years ago to figure out how we were going to transform the way we were doing things into the new way of doing things. So that was the first component. The component that we're in right now is getting that message out to businesses and organizations around Frederick. We're doing that actually in a variety of different ways. We've spoken to the Rotary Club and we've spoken to the Frederick County government as a whole.
So how does the SKC Center determine what job is best for an individual? Well, through a process called formalized discovery.
We go through a process where we find out personal attributes, conditions of employment, the skills they have, their interests, abilities, things we've seen them do. We get right down to places they'd like to work or are interested in that could somehow match their skills. After that, we try to find businesses that will participate in this.
When Sean Dennison and his staff presented their plans for new workforce opportunities, the Frederick County Finance Division were the first to step up to the plate.
The first one to step up out of finance was the treasurer, Diane Fox. And she got a client from SKC. Her name was Deborah. And Deborah was actually the first one that came on for an internship, and she was there for 8 weeks. Did a fabulous job. Then she moved on to another private sector employer, so then Sean brought Kyle to the Treasury Department, where he also worked for 8 weeks in an internship. He did very well over there. When his 8-week internship was up, Lori Rhodes here in the Finance Division, the coordinator for us, had an opening, and she thought she'd see if Kyle could do well for us over here as well.
Individuals such as Kyle were given a chance to decide what work schedule is best for them.
So he comes in every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 2. Takes his lunch precisely from 11:30 to 12, and then at 2 o'clock he leaves and the bus picks him up and takes him back to SKC Center.
Those who are given part-time positions are given tasks that cater towards their skill set.
I know how to add, I know how to subtract, I know how to multiply and divide. My job duties are scanning and indexing P-card bank statements on the computer and prepping them before I scan and index them, look over them, make sure there's no errors.
Now that Employment First is implemented at the SKC Center, individuals are out working part-time jobs at hair salons, printing companies, technology centers, and more. Employers have been pleased with their performance and hope to move them to full-time positions.
Once he got into the groove, his confidence level has soared. It's been great for him. You can see it in him every day. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this program, and it's been a pleasure to have Kyle work here.
We're going to continue working with Kyle to find out what his other strengths are, what other things can he do for us here, and if any opportunity evolves that he would be a good fit for, we absolutely would bring him on in a full-time capacity.
The kickstart of Employment First is not only benefiting individuals from the SKC Center, but it is also benefiting local businesses. Members from the SKC Center see a positive change happening thus far. The only thing to do now is to continue spreading the word across the community.
It's a huge sense of accomplishment, and it's that feeling that you're contributing. The people that are out there now, that are out there showing that that skill, ability, and interest that they have is contributing, and then the business owners and the organizations and the county government, you know, seeing the results, that helps the entire field.
For more information about Employment First or on the Scott Key Center, visit scottkeycenter.org or call 301-600-1600.